The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council stretched for nearly a kilometer. Crystal pillars rose toward a ceiling that displayed the live feed of 1,000 star systems. Representatives from 47 species sat in their designated sections, their forms ranging from gaseous clouds contained in magnetic shells to creatures of pure silicon. Ambassador Cole walked through the center aisle with steady footsteps. His simple gray suit looked almost embarrassing compared to the elaborate robes and ceremonial armor worn by other diplomats. The delegation whispered among themselves. The observers made clicking sounds that translated to mockery. A human, the species to join galactic politics. They had only discovered faster-than-light travel 300 years ago. What could they possibly offer? Reached the speaker platform and placed his hands behind his back. His face showed no emotion. His eyes moved slowly across the assembled representatives. The High Arbiter, a massive being that resembled a floating jellyfish made of golden light, pulsed twice to signal silence. Ambassador Cole of Earth speaks on behalf of humanity regarding the border disputes in the Outer Rim territories, the Arbiter announced. Cleared his throat. Honored members of the Council, my government seeks peaceful resolution. We propose shared mining rights and neutral observation posts. Laughter erupted from the section. Their leader, a reptilian creature covered in iridescent scales, rose from his seat. Warlord stood 3 meters tall. His forearms were thick with muscle. Battle scars covered his face. The human speaks of peace, said. How predictable, how weak. Did not respond, he simply waited. Descended from his platform and walked toward the human. Each step echoed through the suddenly silent hall. Guards from various delegations tensed. This was a violation of protocol. No one approached another diplomat without permission, but they had been pushing boundaries for decades. They had conquered 7 systems. They feared nothing. Your species is soft, continued. You have no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no armor. You require machines just to survive in space, and yet you dare come here and speak to warriors. Remain still. I speak to the Council. All members deserve respect. Stopped directly in front of the human. He towered over. His breath smelled like sulfur and copper. Respect is earned through strength. What strength do humans possess? The other delegates watched with growing interest. Some hoped to see the human humiliated. Others worried about the political consequences. A few older representatives, those who had studied human history, leaned forward with different expressions. Concern, perhaps even fear. We possess the strength necessary, replied calmly. Laughed again. Then without warning he swung one of his massive arms. The blow connected with his chest. The sound of impact echoed through the hall. Flew backward nearly 10 meters. He crashed against the marble floor and slid until he hit the base of a pillar. Gasps filled the chamber. Attacking a diplomat inside the council hall was unprecedented. It was an act of war. But something strange happened. Or rather, something strange did not happen, did not stay down. He did not cry out in pain. He did not bleed. The human stood up slowly. He brushed dust from his suit. He adjusted his collar. Then he looked directly with eyes that had changed somehow. They seemed older now, deeper, like staring into the core of a dying star. That was a mistake, said quietly. Charged forward again. This time he used all 4 arms. Each strike was powerful enough to shatter stone. Each blow connected, absorbed every single one without moving backward even a centimeter. The impacts created shockwaves that cracked the floor around them. Delegates began evacuating their sections. Then moved. It was not fast in the way a bullet is fast. It was fast in the way that made the concept of speed irrelevant. One moment was attacking. The next moment he was embedded in the far wall, nearly half a kilometer away. The sonic boom from single punch arrived 3 seconds later. It shattered every window in the chamber. Silent, complete and absolute silence. Straightened his suit again. He walked back to the speaker platform as if nothing had happened. Behind him, medical teams rushed toward the barely conscious warlord. "Perhaps I should explain," said, his voice carrying perfectly despite the chaos. "Humans were not always as we appear now." The High Arbiter pulsed with confused colors. "What do you mean?" 300 years ago we discovered faster than light travel, but that was not our greatest discovery." Paused. "When we first left our solar system, we found something, an ancient archive, left behind by beings who existed before the galaxy had cooled. They called themselves the Architects." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Every species had legends of the Architects, the first civilization, the ones who seeded life across the cosmos, the ones who disappeared without explanation. The archive contained their knowledge, their technology, their genetic designs, smiled slightly. Humanity spent 200 years integrating that knowledge, not into our machines, into ourselves. He held up his hand. For a moment, it seemed to glow from within. Patterns of light traced through his skin like circuits made of. Every human alive today carries the legacy of the Architects in their DNA. We appear weak because we choose to appear weak. We hide our strength because power attracts conflict. We send our diplomats unarmed because we do not need weapons. The council chamber had become deathly quiet. "I am not a warrior," continued. "I have never trained for combat. I am simply a diplomat who studied languages and cultures. And yet even I could destroy this station and everyone on it with a thought." He let that statement hang in the air. "Humanity does not seek war. We did not ask for this power, but we will not be intimidated. We will not be attacked. And we will absolutely not accept disrespect from those who mistake kindness for weakness." The High Arbiter pulsed slowly. "Why reveal this now? Why not keep your abilities secret?" Looked toward where medical teams were carrying the unconscious warlord away. "Because some lessons require demonstration. They have been aggressive for decades. They only understand strength. Now they understand that humans possess strength beyond anything they imagined." He turned back to face the full council. "Let me be clear about something. What you witnessed was restraint. I could have killed Warlord. I could have reduced him to atoms. Instead, I merely knocked him unconscious. He will wake up in a few hours with nothing more than bruises and wounded pride." A delegate from the collective raised a manipulator arm. "How do we know you speak the truth about the Architects? This could be a trick." Nodded. "A fair question." He closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them again, holographic images appeared throughout the chamber. Star maps, technical diagrams, genetic sequences. The images rotated slowly, displaying impossible complexity. "This is a fraction of what the archive contained. We have shared portions of it with neutral parties for verification. The Architects were real. Their technology works. And humanity has become something new because of it." The images faded, clasped his hands before him. "We came to this council seeking partnership. We believe in cooperation between species. We believe that the galaxy is large enough for everyone, but make no mistake, we will not be victims, we will not be conquered, and we will not be dismissed." An elderly delegate from the Confederation stood slowly. His species resembled tall trees with faces. They were among the oldest members of the council. "I have studied human history," he said. "Your species has a phrase, 'Speak softly and carry a big stick.' I believe I now understand what that means." Allowed himself a small smile, something like that. The High Arbiter pulsed several times before speaking. "This changes everything. The balance of power in the galaxy is now fundamentally different." "No," replied. "The balance of power is exactly what it was before. You simply did not have accurate information. Humanity has possessed these abilities for centuries. We have never used them aggressively. We have never threatened anyone. Today's demonstration happened only because we were attacked first. Our policy remains the same: peace through strength, diplomacy before violence. but always the capability to defend ourselves. He paused and let his gaze sweep across the entire assembly. We hope this knowledge brings stability rather than fear. We are not conquerors. We are not tyrants. We are simply people who want to trade, explore, and grow alongside our galactic neighbors. Treat us with respect and you will find no better friends. But attack us again and you will discover that what you saw today was merely the beginning of what we can do. The chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then the delegate began to applaud, a strange sound like branches clicking together. Slowly, other delegations joined. Within minutes, the entire council was acknowledging the human diplomat. Not with fear, with respect. Cole bowed slightly and stepped away from the platform. His work here was done. Behind him, the political landscape of the galaxy had shifted forever. Humanity would no longer be seen as weak newcomers. They would be recognized as what they truly were. The inheritors of the first civilization. The quiet giants who walked among the stars. The species that chose diplomacy not because they could not fight, but because they had evolved beyond the need to prove themselves through violence. As left the chamber, he passed by the medical bay where Warlord was being treated. Their eyes met briefly, looked away first. Some lessons were only learned through experience, and the galaxy had just received an education that would echo through history for 10,000 years. The age of underestimating humanity was over. A new era had begun.